Hello you lot, good afternoon, I hope you're all well and dandy. I've been down to the shops, I have. Where are we off to, Bambi?
We're going to the shops to get minibus.
Also, got to go and replace this Ratchet. So we'll go and get a new Ratchet, see what else we can find. Got to get some battery terminals, and a few other bits and bobs as well. So away we go, eh? Ten minutes and then they open. Lovely. It's nice being around in a Sunday morning, first in the car park, isn't it?
We're not first.
Well, there's only a few cars, but they're the people that probably work in the shops, isn't they?
No.
That's the one we want. Halfords.
As the time.
Oh yeah.
Where? That's minibus land.
Can you see any other ones you like? Right. Oh yes. Where are we going? Where are we going?
KFC.
KFC.
And I have all of my mini brands that I bought.
Yeah. Went down to good old Halfords and got my Ratchet replaced. I don't think this one's going to fit in the little box because this is a newer version, and I bought that Ratchet kit. We're talking 14 years ago or more, something around that sort of time. And when the little lady took me over to the tool cabinet and we picked out this one, which is the equivalent replacement of the one that I had that was broken, the handle was longer, so I don't think it's going to fit in, but that's okay. I've got a Ratchet that works now. We can deal with anything. I might be able to cut a little bit of plastic out. But something that was quite funny actually, because I've lost the 8mm socket for the 1/4 Ratchet. I'll show you. So that's where the Ratchet goes. That yeah, I might have to just notch that out so it fits in, because I think it's going to be too long. Anyway, yeah. So, but I've lost the 8mm socket for here, and those sockets fit this little Ratchet. So I wanted an 8mm for that. So I see these in the little tool cabinet, and I said to her, "Oh, I need a little 8mm socket to fit this little Ratchet." And she said, "Oh, okay, no problem." And we went over, and she handed me this, and I didn't even think to look and question, because I'd already explained what I needed. So I said, "Brilliant, I'll have that as well." Went and paid. You know where I'm going with this now, don't you? Went and paid. It's fine, I ain't complaining, I just think it's funny. I went and paid, and when I looked, I should have checked, and it's 3/8. So it don't fit the little Ratchet, but it does fit on my new Ratchet, which I haven't got an 8mm socket for, because the smallest socket is 9. So, you know, it's a bit of a bummer, because I wanted the 8mm to fit that one, but I've now got an 8mm that fits me other Ratchet. So, you know, I'll just have to try and find an 8mm and stick it in there. I did want all the tools to match. I wanted it all to be Halfords Advanced, but it don't matter. Let's see if we can get this out of the packet. Only 2 hands. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, I don't think this is going to fit. Nah, see, it's too long. They've redesigned them. At least you can get a bit more leverage on them now. Wonder if the lid will close. Oh, have to force it down. Yeah, it does go. Yeah, it does go. You just have to force it. I do worry about the hinges though. Look, you have to force it apart. I don't want to snap my little hinge, because that'll proper fuck me up if I snap the hinge. I won't be able to. Do you know these? When I bought this, right, this kit, bloody, when I was 17 years old, right, I bought it from Halfords, obviously, brand spanking new, right. It was £120, right? That's what it was. If any of you want to guess how much these are now, because I was looking in there, and the equivalent set, yeah, exactly the same set, all the same spanners. Oh, they made a few adjustments. I think this is a different colour and whatever, but it's more or less exactly the same. You got your spanners, you got them, you got everything like that. £330 now for the same set. Unbelievable, man. I couldn't believe it when I was looking in there. I just could not believe it. I was looking at them and I was like, what the bloody hell is going on there for them to be that price now? And back then it was only 120 quid. Because I remember I had my first job and I bought it with one of my first wages, first or second wage. You know, I got paid. I was like, oh, I'm going to go and get a new toolkit. You know, it's like when you're young, you get paid and you can't help it. You're off you go, innit? You go and spend your money. And yeah, man, that's what happened. And I ended up with this, and it's still serving me well, apart from that ratchet. But we know why that one broke. Nice. Yeah, just thought I'd tell you a little story about that because I was shocked. So yeah, I've got a little 8mm socket now. I'll probably just keep that in there like that. Obviously I'll take the plastic off of it and keep that in there. I better use that 8mm with that one. Nice. And I've got some battery terminals while I was there for the Talbot. Got two negatives. Where's the other negative? Two negatives. They done a different type. It looked the same as this, and I was like, there's no difference. What's the difference? They were £9 each. These ones, £2 each. And I'm looking at them, I can't see any difference. There probably is a difference, but I'm like, well, I ain't paying more. So, and then I've got two positives. Because on the Talbot, there's two batteries. And as I was discussing in the previous video, the terminals broke on one, so I'm just going to replace all of the terminals on both batteries. So yeah, man. Proper happy with that. Also, I was looking around on the internet and I come across these. You can get two. Some of them, obviously the quality, you pay more money, you get better quality, that's the theory. But I'm trying to build up a little toolkit to put in the Talbot. I needed a test light anyway, because my test light broke. It's just had years and years of abuse probably. And it just broke in the end. The plastic casing around here cracked, and then the wire come out. And I was like, ah. So I thought I need a new test light. So I was looking around and trying to find a good quality test light. And I come across these ones here. You got two for less than the price of one. And I thought, hello, this could be fun. And it was only a few quid. So we've got two test lights. I haven't tested them yet. I haven't even taken them out of the packet yet. But I've spotted something which is funny and made me chuckle. And I want to see if you can spot it as well. If I show you this picture here, when they're demonstrating it being used, what can you spot? I mean, unless there's something I'm missing, but something don't look right with what that bloke's doing. Have a look at that. I'll give it a pause, and in a minute I'll explain what I think's wrong. Right, I waited patiently. I had a cup of coffee and I've had a biscuit, waiting for you lot to think to yourselves what could be the problem with that picture. Now, have a look. I think this is hilarious because in that picture they've got the negative there on that battery terminal, which is fine. He's obviously testing to make sure he's got power in his battery. His test light's lit up, brilliant. but he's putting the probe on top of the rubber cover on the positive. So it ain't going to get a connection because it's putting it on the rubber. The only thing I can think of, and you can't really see, is perhaps he's pierced the rubber. He's put the probe through the rubber. That's the only thing I can imagine he's done, is he's put the probe through the rubber to make a connection. But it just made me laugh. I was like, hang on a minute, he's testing rubber and it's lit. I don't know. On both of them pictures, they're different pictures. I don't know what A and B means, what the difference is there, what he's testing, but... Oh, I think B's off and A's on, I don't know. But yeah, man, I thought that was funny. Yeah, so this will be an interesting little test. I've got two now. Two possibly good, possibly bad quality test lights. One's going to go in the toolkit that's going to be kept in the Talbot for running repairs when we're out and about camping. And I'll keep one in the garage. And I've put some quality test lights, like, well, better one. There's a couple of better ones I put on my Amazon wish list if anybody fancies getting me a good quality one. But I just wanted to see. I couldn't believe that you get two for less than the price of one. So yeah, man, all good. We love to test Chinese products on this channel, in case any of you haven't noticed. I don't like Chinese stuff if it's crap. If it's good quality stuff and it's from China, it don't matter. But if it's from China and it's crap, that's the problem. So I like to try and fiddle out the Chinese crap and let you lot know about it. And then any of the good stuff, I'll let you know as well. So if these are good, I'll put a link to them in the description of this video. And only if they're good, probably. So yeah, man, brilliant. Well, I was going to wait until later on to unpackage them and have a proper look, but I can't wait. I get excited. There's that. So I've got this 12-volt battery here. And 6 volt, 12 volt and 24 volt this tester. And I've got a 12 volt battery here. I put the thing on, the crocodile clip on the negative. And there's our tester. Feels reasonable quality, man. I can't really fault it as yet. And, of course I've already done this, so I know that it works. It works. It's a proper bulb in there, not an LED or nothing like that, so it is a proper bulb. So the bulb can go, but it looks like it's just ordinary side light bulb out of a car. It literally is just a side light bulb out of a car on a spring. That's all it is, literally. So yeah, it works, and it lets us know we've got power on that battery. Obviously it doesn't tell us how much, but that's not the point of a test light. The point of a test light is to tell you if you've got electric on whatever it is you want to test. And we have got electric. Obviously not on this one because we're not connected to this ground, this negative. But if we was to move that over, and we should also have, there we go, got electric on this battery as well. Nice. We have some sort of charge. A nice one, you lot. No, can't complain, man, can't complain. There we go. I removed as well, because whoever fitted this battery in the Talbot, what they'd done was they just left it up like that, and the wires were all over the place. But what they probably didn't realise was these are little perforated edges, like this one is here. See, so you just get hold of it like that and rip it off, and then you can put the little flap down, and it protects your terminals and your wires. It's also the handle, but they just left it up, flapping around. So you know, just goes to show that some people ain't all that clever. The only thing that does concern me about these terminals that I've just bought is the wires for this leisure battery. They're not all that thick. They're proper thin wires. In fact, I am surprised how thin they are. But given that it's 30 years old, they used thin stuff back then. Whether them screws are going to go down enough and actually clamp the wire. I could always put longer screws in there. I might have to beef the wiring up. I don't really want to have to add thicker wiring. It's just going to be a nuisance following it all through, but I could just add a bit of thicker wire on the end where it connects and solder it all together. That's an option. I could cut a load off and then fold it all up and stuff it in there. I don't know. But anyway, put that on there for now. So we've got two new terminals for that battery and another two terminals for the engine battery. Got spiders in my eyes. I'm going through all this whole top of this bench, this cabinet, full of rubbish, man. It's just where stuff has accumulated and piled up. I've got so many. Look, this is the second tub. I've got another tub full of these. These are connections for hose pipes. Look, I've got all different types that I've just collected over the years. That was a screw-on one. Look, different design. Oh, these are old ones. These ones, really old ones. Junction thing there and a joiner bit, because you know there's never, they always come in handy. You know, you do your hose pipe and you think, oh, or the one you've got on your hose pipe might break, and you know, never ever throw these away. I see people all the time, man. They throw a hose pipe away, but they leave the ends on. You know, the hose pipe might have a hole in it, or loads of different holes all along the pipe. So they just lob the whole hose pipe, but they also leave the ends on, man. Sometimes that's where I've gotten these ends from. If I've seen a neighbour throw the hose pipe away, and I'm like, what's the matter with that? Oh, it's got holes in it. All right, no worries. And off I go, take the ends off. Because handy, man, very handy. This I've got to repair. This was my dad's, and the smoke started coming out of there. At the motor is jammed up for some reason. The pump's jammed up, or something's jammed. So I've got to take it apart and have a look. I'll do a video on that actually. I just haven't got around to it as yet. So that's sitting on the bench to get around to. That's going to go in the cabinet. I've got this. Why have I got this? It's what it is. It's a clamp for a jockey wheel on a trailer. So you bolt that to the trailer, the coupling thing, and then you put your jockey wheel through the middle there, and then you clamp it down. But why have I got it? I don't know. The reason I had it was because at one point I had a trailer, a car transporter trailer, and I was doing it up, and I bought a new jockey wheel for it. But the clamp that was already on the trailer was fine, so I just put the jockey wheel on, and the jockey wheel that I bought come with this clamp. But I've got no use for it now, so I don't need to keep it. So I'm probably just going to put it in the pile of rubbish down there to get rid of. That basketball is not in the pile of rubbish. That's a good basketball. That's the pile of rubbish. But the thing is, I guarantee you in a few weeks or months time, somebody will come up to me and they'll say, bloody hell, my jockey wheel clamp's broken on my trailer. I'm going to have to go and buy a new one. And I'm going to be like, bloody hell, I've just thrown one away. That's what I like doing. Neighbour comes up or someone and says, oh, this is broken. Normally, because I've got such an array of bits and bobs, I can normally say, hang on a minute, let me go home, I'll be back in a bit, and I'll come back with the bit they need, and I've helped them out. And they're over the moon, saved them some money. I'm over the moon happy because I've helped them. But when you throw everything away, all the rubbish, all the thing you've hoarded, you throw it all away, you can't help no one then, can you? Oh, the feeling is terrible when you can't help somebody. Alright, so I've got my sun hat ready for when the summer comes. I can make sure my head's protected from the sun. That's for a broom. That's an adapter for some Christmas lights. I don't know what I've got in here, for God's sake, I ain't got a clue. An ice scraper, selection of rubber mallets, an oil filter remover tool that will come in handy, another ice scraper. I've got some gear pullers. This one's fallen apart for some reason. I don't know where the bolt is that holds that one together. It's fallen apart. Do those up. I've got a set of 3 gear pullers. Very handy things. Don't know why they're on the bench. They're a nuisance to store because they're massive. But they're very handy. I won't be getting rid of those. And an old radio. Oh, there's a knife. Radio. Nice. Nice doing it. I'll put it back. I'll leave that in there. They're lovely. A shed. A box full of crap. A bucket full of. Look, I just can't bear to throw all them screws and washers away. I mean, lollipop stick. Look, a rubber washer. That might come in handy for something. A fuse. Look, what happens if a fuse goes? I've got a fuse now, haven't I? Some screws. Look. Oh man, nails. If I ever need to hang a picture up, I've got a nail. handy little hook. If I ever need to hook something with a hook, I've got a hook. This is the type of hook that you would have if you've got some wire or something, and what you do is you attach it, and you have like a pole with the hole in it, obviously, and you do these up, and as you do them up, it pulls the do it that way. Sorry, do it that way, and what happens is it pulls the hook into the pole with the hole in it, which then tightens the wire, like fences and any other application you might have where you want to tighten the you put it on nice and loose with plenty of thread left, and then you do the bolt, you do the nuts up, and what happens is it just pulls it that way towards the pole, tightens up the wire. There's probably a name for these, don't know what it is, somebody will probably say it in the comments. Handy, man, very handy. Look, just so much, just can't get rid of it, can't. That's going to stay there because that's handy stuff. This is when I was, at one point, when I was proper into CB and ham radio, I wanted to make my own power supply. So what I'd done was I got some plywood and cut the shell out. I've got an amp meter and a voltmeter. That one's falling apart. The dead insect there was just for decoration at the time, and an on and off switch. Oh no, that's the on and off switch there, look. And it works as well. The power supply is there. This is the 240 volt main supply for the actual power supply itself. On and off switch. And I didn't get around to putting the terminals on, but the meters were going to go in there. And like that. They did go in. Oh, that's not like that. There you go. That one. And then that one as well. Volts and amps, and yeah, that one of them was for the lid. Put it on. I was going to cut little grooves in the top of the lid for vents, and yeah, I just never got round to finishing it. So that's sat there for God knows how long. I don't really want to get rid of that because I'd like to finish it one day. It's not very nice, it's not very neat. Well, no, it's not the best, but it'd be nice if it actually worked. I could say I've actually made a power supply unit that worked. You know, that'd be a nice little project, but never got around to it, never finished it. Other things came up, as they still have. Oh man, I've got this old neighbour next door was getting rid of a load of stuff, and he was chucking this away. It's like rubber mat. You know, I don't know, man. Look, oh, for God's sake, it's tied up with a bit of string. It's brand new. Look, it's probably 50-year-old, but that's how it come in the paper. But it's like rubber matting. That could be endless amounts of usefulness. But just because I haven't got a use for it now doesn't mean that I won't in the future, right? But oh man, where am I gonna put it? I found a box full of gauges, and I want a rev gauge for the Talbot, so I can see what the revs are on it, but I don't know what one's what. Oh, this is boost pressure. Alright. Well, that ain't gonna be no good. I ain't got a turbo. Let's see what the other ones are. I've got loads of them. Well, loads. I know where there is more. There's loads more. I've got loads of gauges somewhere. Oh, I'll probably put them in weird places. This one's water temperature. Oh, it says on the back though, water temp. I've already got a temperature gauge, so I don't need that. Oh, a vacuum gauge. That might come in handy. Considering it's considering I've got a carburetor on there, a vacuum gauge might come in handy. I used to run it. I remember this one. I used to run this one on my Citroen Saxo, my 1.1 Citroen Saxo. I put this in. What a dickhead. Yeah, I did. that was fuel injected as well. So why on earth? It was because I don't know. I wired it into the lambda sensor. Yeah. It used to always show rich though, as if it was running rich. Yeah. That might come in handy. I don't want to, like, because it's a bloody camper, you know what I mean? I'm not going to fill all the cabin up with different gauges. It's just that the Talbot, it hasn't got a rev counter. It's got a speedo, obviously, and a water temperature gauge, which is good, and a fuel gauge. So I don't need any of them. But it hasn't got a rev counter, and I like having a rev counter. I just like to see where the revs are, especially when I'm cruising. You know, I'd like to know roughly what 70 mile, well, it doesn't even go 70 mile an hour. I'd love to know what 55 mile an hour is, because that's a flat out speed it'll go. I'd like to know how many revs that is. It sounds a lot. It sounds like about 3,500. You know what I mean? It screams down there. But I put a rev counter on it. At least I can watch them and know what the revs are. I was hoping I might have a rev counter in here, but I haven't. But I'll keep these gauges because you never know when they might come in handy. So I've got boost, I've got water temperature, and I've got vacuum. That's not even vacuum, is it? That's bloody air fuel ratio. Sorry, not vacuum. Did I say vacuum earlier? If I said that was a vacuum gauge earlier, you've probably already written a comment telling me that it ain't. But I meant fuel ratio, not vacuum. I have got a vacuum gauge somewhere. Again, I've got another box full of gauges. I don't know where they are, but I have got them somewhere.